Hi, Marshall. How are you? Look at you. So good to
Oh,
see you. What's with the mustache?
um, I never grow my mustache or any beard, and this is about 4 weeks ago. I didn't grow, and I haven't cut my hair for 4 weeks too.
It
So
looks
it's like
great. You look great. You look younger. I like the color too.
it's, it's funny because this is my look 20 years ago.
You look young. It's a good look. I like it. I like it. You should like rock that like when we emerge from this.
Yeah,
Serious.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you, thank you. I mean, I try something new, and you look
What's
great
that?
too. Your hair hold up really well.
Oh, I mean, yeah, you're like, like how luxury brands they last forever because they're so high quality. That's like your haircuts; they last forever. Like, thank God I saw you in December. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. But we're not here to talk about my hair. We're here to talk about business, right?
Thank you,
So,
thank you,
right.
thank
So
you.
what I've seen, maybe like since the self quarantine started like 6 weeks ago, or even before that, that you very quickly pivoted from working in physical world to doing content online and to offering services online, how to and stuff. And I really liked your Instagram content, and I started paying attention more to it. So my
Thank
question is, did you plan this
Oh, it got disconnected. Can you hear me now?
You got disconnected? You didn't hear me?
Yeah, yeah, it's good. It's good now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you
I
hear
hear
my
you now. Can
question or should I go again?
you, no, 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 no. I hear your question.
Cool.
So, I already created website. I launched it in 2016, and I want to say that your questions I have to get back to a little bit history because it have to get back to my beginning of my second career. When I worked in a big company around like 2008 and 2012. That was the time I was getting really uh, um, really known in this industry. People are starting to know about me during that time, and I was doing a lot of content, a lot of a magazine interview, a lot of like press, red carpet, and all the stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, but back in the time, is like, as you know, is around like 90s and 2000. It's all about hard copy. So you really relied on the editor. And people like you have to know about the editor, that it will feature you and all this stuff. So if you actually don't get feature from the editor, then whatever you do is disappear. And then thank God, and back in the time, I got a lot of features from the magazine, but at the same time, I was working in a big company. Unfortunately, some of the companies, they don't like you to promote yourself, and which is such a waste. Like, you have that interview, you have that content, and people couldn't, they cannot receive it. They couldn't see it. My audience couldn't see it. So I have to, and in that time, I was like, I have to find a way to actually promote myself. Otherwise, it's such a waste. So all the work you did is such a waste. So, let me see, and then I would say like around like 2014 and that time is around 2012 and 14. I already feel like social media is coming. I already feel it's not because it's a trend. It's because it's easy. It's easy to promote yourself,
Right,
and there's
right.
so many good examples. Like um, I remember in 2016 I was doing the big show Alex and Olivia, and then I was interviewed by uh, by the company called Main Addict. From Jen Atkins, and her stylist, Justine, actually, she's like a celebrity right now. She was interviewing me. And then, by the time I asked them, like, what are you guys doing? You guys are hairstylists. You are doing like content. You're doing all that stuff. And then I look at them and it's like, wow, you are creating your own media about this industry.
Right,
And
right.
this it's so easy because back in the time you have to offer service to editor, you have to pay for certain stuff to actually promote yourself. Now there's so many material you can actually create your own brand. Like for example, um, you can actually just hire some web designer. You actually have some program that you can build up your website, and you can actually that's also some service. You can actually get the client info, and you can send them like, oh, after the service, automatically you receive something like, how are you, and how's your service, and all that kind of stuff is the material there, and it depends on how you want to use it or not. So and that time I was like, you know what, if they can do it, I'm going to create my own media. So I hire a team, and then I put all the content and my work together, and I built up
That
the
content,
website.
sorry to interrupt you, and that content is like interviews you've done, the videos, the photo shoots. Like, can you tell the audience a little bit more about the content that you use, because they want to learn from you?
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, this is actually very. I was actually really encouraged to a lot of hard worker people. Actually, first of all, you have to look at yourself, what you offer, what you did. So back in time, I look at myself as like, oh, I was doing 15 clients a day, and then I was doing photo shoots, and I was doing like red carpet, and I have an interview, and then I have so much things to kind of offer to the client. I was like, oh, when clients sit in my chair, okay, this guy knows a lot, and you have to let the clients kind of know your hairstylist can offer you a lot. So so the point is like, this is the way how you let the people, the audience know about you. Then I was like, I have so many contacts, so why not just put it in the platform and kind of send it to them? And then of course, I'm very lucky. My brother is a graphic designer, and then he said like, why not just kind of put in the emails and then you can send out the content. I also like the idea. Like I am a big fan of reading content too. Like sometimes like we find a 29, like Nike, even though like those kind of companies will send you content once in a while, it's like remind you, okay, you got to move your ass, you have to work out, you have to, you know,
I know.
you have to hydrate your hair, you have to this, you have to do this, and then that's a great thing for people to read. And then also I have all the content, and then I was like, oh, also I'm able to do my content. I know a lot of people in this industry, so why not just like have so many interesting clients, and also like people like you. I mean, like people would love to hear what you feel about the beauty in my chair. So it's like, why not just? I mean, because like remember when you sit in my chair, there's so many conversations we're building up. We talk about fashion, we talk about we talk about beauty, and this conversation is valuable, and we can actually share it. All we need to do is just kind of like put it in the sentence, some chord, and then just put it in the email and send it out. And there's a really good information for people to know about, like like that's a little tip. And especially right now, no one likes to hear like to read like big like big article. They want to have a quote. They have a little important message. So I was like, why not? I just kind of put all those conversations with my client like you, good, all those good conversations, and put it together in a website and send it out. And I think and it was really helpful.
For sure. And did you get like over the course of the year, since it sounds like you've been doing that for a while, and
Yeah.
like I don't know much of people who are doing it on such a personal level and also professionally, because of course you have a lot of hairstylists who have the entire teams behind themselves, but you sort of like have that scale that also feels very personal. Like your Instagram feels personal, your newsletter feels personal, your website feels personal. So you sort of like crack that golden code that you still have a platform, but it feels like every time you talk to Marshall Lynn, really.
Wow, that's an honor when you say that. That's an honor when you say that. That's exactly how I want to build up the relationship with the client. That's I think it's also the future as well as the surface. It's more intimate. It's more care. Uh, it's more like I always like. I remember when I was training like new assistant or like new hairstylist. Like you have to treat your client or audience as your lover. You think about how to impress them. you always try something stupid or something crazy, but at the same level, it's like because it's a client, it's a professional relationship. So you want to keep it like professional at the same time, but like personal. So I'm very honored when you say that. That's
But that's
exactly the
really how
vibe.
Yeah, you're very accessible and at the same time very professional. I think that a lot of brands can learn from you, honestly. Like those personality-driven brands that sort of have the same platform or seek to say have the same platform as you do. So, do you plan to continue also this content production after the crisis? Are you going to have time for that once you go back to a salon? Once you go back to
As I mentioned, I've been doing this since 2016.
so
So
it's yeah.
uh, it's uh, to be honest, if I have a this is something that you I would say according to your next question, you actually mentioned about like all for all the professional skill people, like what they should do. I mean, um, to be honest, if you ask me, I would love to just do hair. I mean, this is this is what I do, and then I can do hair like 24 hours a day. But for business side, it's like this is the time like you really have to think about how to really brand yourself, how to uh, how to how to create your personal image to the audience and to the public, like who are you? And because everything is selling, it's like high fashion stuff. Like you want the audience or you want the client to get what actually you have to let the clients know what you get. You have to let the client know what you're getting. It's like, okay, you're buying this brand that is a rock and roll brand. Marshall is creative and Marshall is intimate. So he will listen. So you're buying that kind of brand. So this is the way how you kind of brand yourself and let the others know who you are and what's your image.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, like you mentioned about do I have time to continue doing this? But yeah, I do. I mean, like as you can see, most of my article and content is a lot about my work. So if I continue to do hair, then well, I will have more content. I would say if I don't have work, like then I don't have the content.
Yeah, if you don't do photo shoots, if you're not working red carpets and campaigns, then you don't have content. But at the same time, I think that you have a lot of personal skill that you can turn into content. And that's what I'm saying is like how to do this, how to wash your hair, how to like I know that a lot, like every brand, like hair care brand is doing that right now. But for some reason, I sort of think that there is a way that you can translate your expertise that doesn't necessarily need to be like, oh, you're touching my hair right now, you're working on my hair. It can be like everything around that, depending what you want your brand to be, right?
Well, yeah, well, thank you for advice. And then I do get a lot of advice to ask me to do more like video and stuff. I mean, maybe I actually, you mentioned I look young, but I start doing hair in the early 90s. So I was working with a lot of legendary hairstylists. It's kind of funny. People talk about those hairstylists, like people like Baby, like Michelle Lamar. I was working with those people, and then the people are talking about the benefit you get from those people, like really talented. But at the same time, you kind of get some kind of I don't know if it's an ego or whatever. It's like back in the time, artists they don't like to promote themselves. You know, like I'm the artist, I'm hiding. No one sees me. They only
Right.
see my
Yeah.
talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really is deep, actually. It's really deep in my heart, and also I'm sure it has. Hopefully, if anyone in this chat room or anyone who heard about this interview from my generation of hairstylists, this is a really hard time for them because they have that kind of they have that in their soul. It's like I'm the artist. I'm not like doing promotion. Promotion, let the model do this.
Mm,
Um, um,
right. Do you
uh,
still think there are like new generation of hairstylists is like that, or are they more like you?
Mm, um, to be honest with you, I'm still getting used to that kind of position. I'm still getting used to the position. As you look at my Instagram, all this stuff, you don't see any of my personal stuff into it. I'm not comfortable. That's why I'm selling like my professional feel into it. Like for example, people will say, okay. Marshall, why don't you show me how to do the blow dry by myself and how to do the bangs and stuff. I know how to train hairstylists to do it. But for yourself, I mean, I don't suggest people to do color for yourself. I mean, for example, like I used to color. I mean, don't I mean, the color was just like, okay, you got a section there. This is how you train from the school. This is not how you train people to do it.
Right.
And to be able to do this, you have to get the license. And then if you mess up, if someone messed up the hair, and you have to take responsibility. If I ask you to do your hair and your hair turned orange, then what's the point about it? You know, this and so and also the reality is that people love to see, and it's a social media, and also it's like like for example, I'm gonna show people how to do the blowout, or with someone who is 20 years old, she's super beautiful and she know what the angle and lighting is. People will take the advice instead of like taking my advice. So
I
from a
don't know.
professional,
Really? Why do you think that? I would take your advice before.
Because you're smart, but I don't know, should I say that in this media? It's like not everyone is smart like you. I mean, not everyone is smart like, okay, I'm going to take a professional advice. But the fact is, in this world right now, is like people are taking Instagram advice, which is the which is what happened right now. So back to the point you asked me. Okay, back to my generation of hairstylists. Do they really want to do what other people are doing, promoting themselves? People are still very uncomfortable about it. To be honest with you, yeah, it's kind of tough for that situation. But what I'm encouraging is there's so many tools you can actually choose the way how you want to market yourself. Like I'm selling skill, then you know what? I know it's boring, but you know what? Just put all the skill in the content. And
Yeah, but
then
it's
if
not
you
boring. I don't think it's boring. I think that you have a good intuition of what's going to work and who your audience is. So well, you have the audience of your own clients, but then you have a wider audience. That sounds to me like.
What you just say I'm 1000% agree with you. This is really true. This is get to the point. The conclusion is you have to build your audience, your type of audience. Okay. You know, I know the generation is not like this. Then I'm gonna create my own audience, like who love to read content. I mean, a lot of stuff. I mean, I have a lot of people like you, and then they really encourage me, and then they're like, "Oh, your content is great, and then it's smart." But I do have some young kids who's like, "Who read now?" But instead of thinking about like if people are reading right now, or you you should read now. I mean, you should read. It's not like you want to read or not. Like you have to read. You always have to learn something, like by reading, by practicing. So I really encourage those people. Is that, you know what? It's all this. Who cares? I mean, just provide what you can provide. You know. And then don't hide it yourself, and then just keep it out. And some people will get it. And also, like so many hairstylists, even though maybe they're older than me, they're more experienced, but you know, your client will love to hear what you say. So just do it. I mean, this is a different time right now. I mean, like for example, this kind of quarantine time is really hard for our industry. Everything stopped. Like no one are doing stuff right now. I mean, I was making a joke with the photographer. I've been working as a fashion photographer. I was like, oh, maybe this is the best time to do the photo shoot because Marshall is ready. And then they were like, yeah, sure, but no model want to shoot. And also, like, people will bring on us. It's like, oh, everyone should stay home, and you guys are doing stuff. And then what happens if you spread it out? I mean, so it's a difficult time for us. It's everything's tough right now. So what you should do is that you got to prepare yourself. Like, okay, when the market is back, then people are looking for hairstylists, and then they will remember whoever they see during that quarantine time. I mean,
100%. And I do think that that is your main challenge, because like you're not sending a good message if you now go out and start shooting. That's absolutely not right thing to do right now. You need to be like, no, everyone stays at home, and when we reopen, then it's going to go back. So that is your unique position, because that's what your work is, to be outside and doing those things. And that's why we talked about all this content that you have to create sort of before, to have that going while you can't do what you normally are doing. And I do think that it's unfortunate that a lot of young people don't read, as you said, but that's exactly why I was like pushing you, do some video, like do some images, because people process information and learn in a different ways. And that for me was like, no, do a video interview with this model. She's probably bored at home, so just call her up and see what she's doing, like, or something. So that's what, like, everyone is sort of in the same situation, and by doing that you acknowledge the situation we are all in. Like, look at your bar behind you. You have a well-stocked bar right there. Are you doing well with those drinks?
I mean, people know I love to drink, and I do cocktails. So I mean, this is my mini bar. I mean,
so maybe we can like pivot into like cocktail hour with Marshall.
This is the best lighting in my house, so I mean, I have to show
No, I
the other side.
understand. No, I'm kidding. I understand. So how do you?
And alcohol.
Yeah, books and alcohol. That's how you spend your time, right? It's not bad. I approve. I approve. So, my final couple of questions are basically like, how do you see this industry going from here? Are you going to see more people like you who are aware of the fact that they may not be able to see their clients for like a month or 6 weeks, so they need somehow to keep the relationship with their audience going, and they keep growing their community anyway? Or do you think that people are just going to go back to like how it was before, and they're like, oh, I don't care, I just need a haircut and so on?
I think the whole world in our industry is actually asking questions for myself or other people. It's like, what is going to be? I mean, I don't know. I cannot tell anyone. But I always look at it this way. Instead of waiting for what's going on and what's after, why not just think about what you can do now? What you can do now. Like, for example, I would say, just make sure they remember you during this time. The most important part is for selling is make sure they are you are in their lifestyle. Like, I was working in the big hair brand, and I was one of the top sales over there. It's like and people asking me like, how can you sell a lot of products? And I was like, I was not selling. I'm just applying this lifestyle into their lifestyle. So thinking about your clientele is like, make sure during this time, I don't want to say just make sure they remember you. Just send a text message to them, send an email, send something like, what I can do for you. I mean, I'm here. What kind of advice and what I can give you. So during that time, if they still remember you, when after a month, when they come back, it's like, okay, if I want hair, I look for Marshall. If I want hair, I look for Lori. I look for Brock. I look for Marie. I look for the people who actually care about me during this time. So this is what you can do right now. And after all the quarantines, I don't know. I mean, it's a really big challenge. I mean, if you ask me, for service business, it's really big challenge. I was talking to a couple of CEOs from the restaurant industry. It's also really tough right now. I mean, the service business will definitely change. Also, high-end business will really change, because high-end is all about offering, and offering we rely on a lot of like physical like relationship offering. Like, for example, I will have the whole team to serve you, and after this quarantine, people are still aware of like, okay, I don't want a lot of people touching me. I don't want a lot of people touching me. I was reading some article about this morning about like China is actually building a robot to drive taxi right now. It's like it's it's tough for me to hear all that stuff. You know, like it's because high end is all about surface. High end is all about like I'm going to.
You're cutting up for a second. Can you say again because